Hey guys, how is it going? This is Diablo 4 beta and I want to showcase my Sorcerer's Ice Blades build. Ice Blades is a minion that there is no limit to the amount you can summon. There is a built-in 30% chance whenever Ice Blades attack to cause vulnerability to the target. Whenever Ice Blades hit a vulnerable mob, I get 1 second cooldown reduction on the skill. And I also get 0.5 seconds cooldown reduction for every other cooldown skill that I'm using. So as you can see here, I'm using Frost Nova, which is a cooldown skill. I'm using Inferno, which is my ultimate, 45 seconds cooldown. Ice Armor, which is a 20 seconds defensive ability. And Teleport, which is also a cooldown skill. So whenever my Ice Blades attack, it's going to reduce the cooldown from all the other 4 cooldown skills that I have. I'm also using this mana skill, which is Hydra. Hydra is pretty good on itself. It doesn't really benefit from the cooldown reduction, but it's pretty insane as it is. So I'm just using this as an extra skill. I'm also using an enchantment, which is the Ice Blades enchantment. Whenever I use a cooldown skill, for every 20 seconds of the cooldowns that I've used, I spawn an extra Ice Blade to attack a random enemy. So basically, I'm gonna be spamming Ice Blades and reducing the cooldown from everything and just going to clear the map as fast as I can. So this is more of a boss killing build, but let's see how it goes on map clear. So this is a dungeon on level 25 Veteran, which is the hardest difficulty on the beta. There are no mobs so far. Okay, there is a mob there. Let's see. So as you can see, as my blades attack, I get cooldown reduction. And depending on the density of the map, it gets much better. I start to be able to cast much more frequently, I guess. So I guess my goal here is to kill every single mob on the map, which is kind of annoying to be honest, but okay. Oh, it's a ring. Bug. Amazing. So as you can see, my character doesn't take much damage or no damage at all, because every time I cast a skill, I apply a barrier that is equal to 30% of my maximum health, and it only happens when I cast a cooldown skill. And because I'm refreshing the cooldown of my skills, I have always a barrier up. So yeah, it's pretty good. Alright, so another legendary. I'm gonna show the gear that I have after I finish this dungeon. My teleport skill, whenever I hit mobs, I get also cooldown recovery, so it's pretty good. It's very what is the word? Synergetic? Synergy. I don't actually know the words, but okay, I got the key. Now there is something I have to do, which is use the key to open the door. I think the door is up here, so let's do it. So yeah, the build is pretty fun to play. I was trying to build a pure cold build, but I realized that some Hydra is just too good to not use it. and even though it's not a cooldown skill, so it doesn't benefit from my builds at all, but yeah, it's pretty good. Where is the other totem? Oh, it's here. Okay, I think the boss is coming pretty soon. Slay the High Priest. Alright, so the another mini quest, I guess. I think I can just skip these mobs. So the cooldown reduction is better when there is more of a density of mobs, because, you know, I have my ice blades have to hit mobs in order to trigger the cooldown reduction. So sometimes I guess I cast all my abilities, but there is no one to hit, so then I get a lot of cooldowns, I guess. So yeah. So as you can see, I am able to spam my abilities whenever there is a big density or one single very tanky mob. Okay, I think I found it. This is the last guy I have to kill. Alright. I thought there was a boss in this dungeon, but it looks like that's it. Alright, so the gear that I'm using, I have full legendary set, but some of the legendaries are just a little bit useless for my build. So this one gives 20% increased crowd control duration, which is kind of okay because I do like apply chill effects, and then I deal 41% increased damage to unstoppable enemies. So I guess bosses are unstoppable enemies, maybe? I'm not sure. So I would deal 41% increased damage, which is pretty good. I'm using Ice Armor makes you unstoppable, which unstoppable means I cannot get crowd control effects applied on me, and yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. Explosions from the Shatter Key. Okay, so this is useless. You take 20% less damage from crowd-controlled vulnerable enemies. Alright, this is pretty good because I chill. So if I chill an enemy, I take 20% less damage. Crackling energy stuff. Okay, this is also useless. And then this is the most useful one, I guess. I get one additional Hydra active. So usually the Hydra you can only cast once, but with this legendary I can have 2 Hydras summoned at one time, so it's pretty good. It doubles the DPS basically. My amulet, this is from the story mode. I get what is it? A bubble around me for 7.5 seconds, which makes me immune. Sounds pretty good. But this is actually kind of useless to me because I don't take damage anyways. So yeah, maybe when the game releases I might take some damage. We'll see. This ring is also kind of useless. crackling energy. I don't use shock skills besides teleport, but teleport doesn't work with this mechanic. And that's pretty much it. Critical strikes with car skill. I don't use car skills as well. Also, I want to show you guys my passive skill tree. So I'm using 1 point on Ice Blades. The other point I think comes from item contribution, which is a +1 on the item affix, I think. And the 2 passives, as I explained in the beginning, is reduction of cooldowns, basically, from Ice Blades itself, and then from other cooldown skills. And then I'm using Hydra into Enhanced Hydra and Summoned Hydra, which is, I think, the best 2 options. This one benefits from Critical Strike, but Critical Strike is more of a Lightning Sorcerer's build, I think, because you get more critical chance when you play the Lightning version. So yeah, I'm going for the Burning version. Frost Nova is more of a AoE map clear business. Frost Nova allows me to apply vulnerability to all mobs around me, for example, and then whenever my Ice Blades hit the mob with vulnerability, they get the cooldown reduction proc. So yeah, I would not use this Frost Nova against world bosses, for example. I think I would swap this out for something else. Ice Armor is just that extra skill if I do find something that is incredibly difficult to kill, or I mean, if I take too much damage, then I use Ice Armor, and you know, it's just an extra cooldown skill that allows me to proc my enchantment, the Ice Blades enchantment, which spawns an extra blade. So yeah, it helps me for that reason. Teleport is always it's a movement skill, so you always want to have a movement skill, I think, to escape some difficult situations. Although this build, I have not found a single difficult situation yet, so I think it's not going to happen, only when the game releases, pretty sure. But anyways, teleport is you can speed run the map with teleport, so it's pretty good. What else do I have here? I have 3 points on Glass Cannon, because the damage that I take is so little that I have so many barriers. Yeah, let me show the passive that gives barrier. So Protection gives me the barrier, which is whenever I use a cooldown skill, I get 30% of my maximum life as a barrier for 5 seconds. And since my abilities are always refreshed every 3-ish seconds, I can always have a barrier up. That's why I don't die. That's why it's I can face tank anything. So yeah, and then I use Glass Cannon for that reason, because I already don't take damage. So I do 18% increase damage, and I take 9% more damage, which is, it doesn't matter really. I'm using Potent Warding, which is another layer of defense. After casting a non-basic skill, you gain 6% resistance to all elements and 3 additional resistance to that skill's element. So yeah, whenever I cast anything here, I'm getting the buff from Potent Warding. 1 point on Devastation, because everything else here is useless for my build. And yeah, this is also, it doesn't matter too. I just have to get points here so I can advance the, advance the tree. And over here, what else? Yeah, 1 point on Inferno. I was thinking about getting Prime Inferno, which pulls enemies, but it doesn't really matter. It's very little to gain from this passive. And this passive here makes my Pyromancy skills cost no mana, but I only use 1 skill that costs mana, so it doesn't really bother me using Hydra. It costs 20 mana, it's very little mana cost. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna do a world boss tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure I can face tank the world boss. In fact, I've tried earlier today, but the build was a little bit worse than it is now. Yeah, I've changed a little bit. I think I used to just try mana regeneration with different skills, but I realized that this combination here is the best combination for map clear. And as I said, if I wanna kill bosses, I'm gonna definitely swap out from Frost Nova because I already apply vulnerability with the Ice Blades, so I don't really have a need for Frost Nova besides the cooldown effect that, you know, my Ice Blades benefits from cooldown skills. So I'd swap this for another cooldown skill, like let's say Flame Shield, although it's extra defense, which I don't need, so I think I would have to think about maybe Lightning Spear. Lightning Spear is also a conjuration, and it deals a little bit of damage, and it's a cooldown skill. I guess I might swap to Lightning Spear. I'm not sure if this one stacks like Ice Blade does. If it does stack, I'm gonna use Lightning Spear for boss killing, world's boss killing instead of Frost Nova for sure. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow I'm gonna upload a world's boss killing video where I face tank the world's boss. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe. If you have any questions, you can ask away in the comments. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.